Hey Bayek, it's me Ian. And in today's video, I'm looking at this. This is the Scarlet Blade from 1963. And before I go on, I'd just like to thank Tony. He sent me this one, and thank you so much. He knows my taste perfectly. I love this film. It's fantastic. It's a historical drama, and what makes it more interesting, it's a period of history that absolutely fascinates me. And there isn't that many films made on it. It's the English Civil War period, the Roundheads and the Cavaliers and all that, Oliver Cromwell, everything. But you don't get a great deal of films on this man. So this is good anyhow. I really enjoyed it. So it's 83 minutes long. Rotten Tomatoes give it 30%. I can see why in some things the critics were hostile, but hey, it's enjoyable, you know. And also, if there's one thing I do never do is judge a film saying, oh, it's not historically accurate and blah, blah. This isn't historically accurate, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just see the film and enjoy it. There we are. I'm off again on one. But yeah, it's true. I thoroughly enjoyed it, even though, you know, you can't just say it's not historically accurate. It's ridiculous. Anyhow, the good thing about this as well, it is a Hammer film production. Which is wonderful. I love to see Hammer involved in these productions. It was released also as a double bill with The Son of Captain Blood. That's a 1962 film. That was in the UK. So you got a double bill. Fantastic. It's perfectly suited to a double bill. You would describe this, I suppose, as really a sort of romantic adventure, swashbuckler, all that kind of thing. You know, wonderful. Now, the screenplay is by John Gilling, who also is the director, John Gilling. Now, he directed Gamma People, sci-fi film, 1956. The Flesh and the Fiends, 1960 horror. The Shadow of the Cat, 1961. The Pirates of Blood Island, 1962. So these are Hammer films as well. And I absolutely adore a film that he The Plague of the Zombies, 1966. What a brilliant Hammer film that is. He directed that. Also, The Reptile, that's another good one, 1966. And The Mummy Shroud, 1967. Some great films as a director there. Absolutely wonderful. So, the cast, we've got Lionel Jeffries playing Colonel Judd, who's portrayed in this film as the baddie, I suppose, the real baddie, and he's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, really is. Lionel Jeffries has a wonderful history of films. He was in The Colditz Story in 1955. He was in The Quatermass Experiment 1955. He was in Dunkirk 1958. He was in, here we are, The Revenge of Frankenstein 1958, another Hammer film. He was in Two-Way Stretch, 1960, which is a comedy. He was in Kill or Cure. That's another comedy, 1962. He was in First Men on the Moon, 1964. What a brilliant film that is. And of course, he's in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Oh, yes, one of my all-time favourite films. And he's brilliant, he's funny, he's great in that, absolutely wonderful. Who could not love him in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? He was in Royal Flash, 1975, and he was in The Prisoner of Zenda, 1979. And also, I've just got to mention, because he became a director as well, and directed another of my all-time favourite films, which is The Railway Children, 1970. He directed that, and of course, then directed a few more films like The Amazing Mr. Blunden. He was wonderful, absolutely, great actor. Sadly, no longer with us, but wonderful he was, Lionel Jeffries. And then, this is a real treat, as you can see. Oliver Reed is in this film. And you know how much Oliver Reed, what an amazing actor he was. Really was so talented in so many films as well. So he plays Captain Tom Sylvester in this film. And of course, if we look at his filmography, it's just massive. But I just mentioned that he was in The Curse of the Werewolf, 1961, which was Hammer's first attempt, and possibly only attempt. I'm thinking of a werewolf. Yeah. For some reason, werewolf films are not as, they don't make as many. But anyhow, it was in that in 1961 and very good. He was in The Pirates of Blood River, 1962. He was in Captain Clegg, Peter Cushing, in that, 1962. Then he was in, I have to mention this is a Hammer film that is amazing. He was in The Damned, 1963, which is a Losi film, and it's an amazing film. It's like, it starts off like as if it's a biker film, and then it goes into a sci-fi film. It's just amazing. It's just, I still see it and go, wow, what a film. That's The Damned, 1963. Then he was in Paranoiac, 1963, and he's excellent in that. Oh my, he's really bad. He's brilliant, Oh, wow, what a mixed up psychopath. Wow, yes. Then he was in The System, which I love. I love The System. 1964. A different type of film again from that. Then, of course, he was in Oliver, the musical Oliver. Wow, isn't he great in that? Wow, he's terrifying. He's terrifying. And of course, then he became really famous. It was in Women in Love, 1969. And the controversial The Devils, 1971. Wow, that film is just so many issues with that film, why it hasn't been released uncut. And it's one of those films that gets talked about such a lot. But these are just not all these films. There's some more I could mention. Of course, he was in The Three Musketeers, 1973. He was in The Four Musketeers, 1974. And then more films in between, like Venom, I'll mention. And then I'll mention his last film, because it's an absolute classic. Unfortunately, died while they were making it. And that is, of course, Gladiator. And it was seen as a massive comeback almost. And they had to use CGI to finish his character off, because they hadn't completed all the filming. But it's a brilliant film, Gladiator. It's acknowledged as a great film. Then we've got Jack Hedley, who plays Edward Beverley, who is the hero, the Scarlet Blade. He was in Witchcraft, 1964. He was in The Secret of Blood Island, 1965. He was in For Your Eyes Only, a James Bond film, 1981. And then, I think most famously, and he's rather good in this, he was in The New York Ripper, which is false, is controversial. I suppose you'd call it a video nasty now, as it was. It is brilliant, though. Even with the duck, the voice. Yes, well, the duck voice. Yeah, anyhow, then we've got June Thorburn, who plays Claire Judd. Now, when I read this, it's incredibly sad. She died in an air crash in 1967, and she was only 36 years old, and she was pregnant. It's so sad. Anyhow, films that she was in were The Cruel Sea, 1953, and she was in The Three Worlds of Gulliver, 1960. She was in Design for Living, 1962, and Master Spy, 1963. Yeah, I think she's really good in this. Very good in this film. Then we've got, well, I've got to mention it. I used to always make a joke when I was reviewing all those I've reviewed all the Studio Canal releases. And every week I say, it's Michael Ripper time. And he's in this, yes. We've got a Hammer film. Of course, he could not be in it. And his role is, it's a bit more substantial. He plays a gypsy. Yes, it's Michael Ripper playing a gypsy. Oh, you've got to love it when you see Michael Ripper in Hammerfell. It's not the same with Michael Ripper popping in a film, but he's here and he's quite important in the film actually. He's there. So that is the main sort of cast. So saying what is it about? I think we've gathered by now. Yeah. Well, it's set in the English Civil War. It doesn't give a date, but I would say this must be 1648 because it must be the second after the second Civil War period, because the king has been captured. There's the second Civil War happens. It's all pretty over pretty quickly. After the 1645 is the defeat. And they're still hoping to get the king back on the throne, but, with various conditions, but that just doesn't happen. He's plotting, and then they try again, the royalists, to rebel in 1648. That fails, and that's the end for Charles I. 1649, he gets his head chopped off. So this is the period. And what it is, it's about this group of royalists who now want to try and free the king, because that's it. He's been captured again, and he's scheming away. He's cost Charles and all that. So they want to get him before he gets down into Tower of London, and and his trial and everything that comes. So they attempt or plot the idea of rescuing him, and it's led by, yes, you've guessed it, the Scarlet Blade. Yeah. There it is. So that's the plot, and it's good. I enjoyed it totally. You've got, I think it illustrates an interesting part of the Civil War, which was the way families were split. Who they would support, and then out for various reasons, it's like the Lionel Jeffries character, for their own thing, decide to switch sides. Whoever's winning, who's going to do best, who could get these people could get power. They made their name in the army. They could start getting some power, and this is what that Lionel Jeffries character is like. So that's what it's about, really, and it's brilliantly done. I really enjoyed it. That I can see why I think that maybe some of the critics and some people watching it would say the one weakness of the film is, in fact, Jack Hedley, who plays the Scarlet Blade. He just seems miscast. I'm afraid that's it. He doesn't seem this dynamic figure that you're hoping for. It's just not. He's not a bad actor. That's what I say. He's miscast. It doesn't work for him as the villain. Whereas you look, as the hero. He's supposed to be the hero. I mean, Lionel Jeffries he's so brilliant as the baddie. He acts it. He's brilliant. He's the star. And when it should be, you say it should be Jack Hedley because the film's about him. But Lionel Jeffries, he's so brilliant. Absolutely. And of course, Oliver Reed. He's Oliver Reed. He's just outstanding as well. So Jack Hedley just seems weaker in his performance, which is sad. Because I say he's a good actor. It's just a case of being miscast. Because in the New York Ripper, he's great. He's this sort of washed out kind of character. This one, as a hero, he's not suited to. But that's my sort of view of the film. I really loved it. Oliver Reed, in fact, said, this is nice as well, that in the death scene, I know it's a bit of a spoiler, but it doesn't matter. I think not really. He said it was his favourite death scene in his whole film career that he was able to do. So there you are. That's it. And the film, I think, also looks good. It looks pretty good because, again, don't forget, this is on a limited budget as a Hammer were, but they were so well organised. And they did the usual filming at Burham Beaches in Buckinghamshire, where they did so much filming there. They were lucky to have that, so we get all the countryside and the forest and everything, and that's all from there. So that, again, is just an absolute bonus. I love this film. Absolutely love it. And thank you so much, Tony, for sending it to her. You know exactly what I'm going to like. As I said, there isn't enough films on the English Civil War, but there is a few, but not enough, really, because it's an important part of our history. Anyhow, lecture's gone. I'm trying not to lecture, but I've enjoyed it. And before I go, I'll just show you it again. There it is. Look at that brilliant cover, the rounded there. And then we got the back and all these wonderful extras, documentaries on going into everything, the music and everything, the script, the performances. And there's the disc. Now I've got the note there that Tony sent. This is brilliant. Highly recommended. And of course, it's on Indicator. What a brilliant label they are. They produce so many great films. And I'm so pleased I've got this. Thank you. Thank you so much. And that's it. So, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I'll let you know when I put out these videos. And you can look in the playlist and see all the films that I've reviewed. And I do lots of films. And also TV series as well. A bit of music. Often, sometimes with a nostalgia base as well. And if you like this video, please give this video a like, because it gets it out onto YouTube if you give it a like, and other people might enjoy it. And if you've got any comments, please put your comments down. I love to read your comments, and I'll always reply to them. And that's it. I'm going. So all I've got to say is, I'll see thee again.